Okay, so I've laid my stencil or pattern down on the fabric and I'm just drawing around it with a white crayon, and some of these lines will need an extra inch in the way of a hem. So when I've got the fabric on the table, all I'll do is go around with an inch wide rule and I'll draw the hem in, just to make sure that I cut the fabric to size. But in some instances I've already made the pattern 2 inches bigger. This little piece of paper I've only just sort of double-sided taped on, and it was the right size, so that's my inch hem around that. It's just to kind of reinforce the edges. And then it will be ready to cut out, and I'm going to cut out 2 pieces, and they're going to be both sides of the tent. Let's have a hem up here. If you use a white crayon, obviously you can see what you're doing all the time. But that's my piece of fabric, pretty much ready to cut out. But I think it's really important to make a paper template which becomes your pattern, because then you're not going to make something, manufacture something that just plain doesn't fit. And obviously you've got something to work to. Let's get this cut out. Okay, so I'm just laminating these panels as I did for my DIY rooftop tent, and this is going to be one of the panels almost finished for the trailer tent. Not going to bore you with ropes just using a sewing machine, but that's how I did it, exactly the same as the last one. And I've got 2 or 3 more panels to make, so back soon. A little bit of a first fix. Just brought it out and put it in place. It's only held in place by a couple of G clamps and some double-sided Velcro tape, but it seems to fit. You know, the 2 side panels were manufactured both the same and then lined with the tartan material. The panel at the front was literally just the distance between the 2 of them, and it's a square panel that was sewn in. Put a couple of gussets in to take some fiberglass poles that are going to bring the front of the tent out, give me just a little bit more room inside. But as a first fix, let me show you. So I'm quite pleased with it, really. It doesn't look too bad. The sort of sub-assemblies, you know, making these panels, hemming the kind of edges, it all takes a little bit of time, you know. The fit isn't too bad. If I just sort of hold that bit up in place there, you can kind of see it's, you know, it's all roughly the same right size. The side I think is quite taut. Bear in mind there are no fixings in it at the moment. Quite happy with the entrance. You know, what I did there was I just went for a kind of traditional tent setup. I'm really pleased with the way it looks. It looks like it's an actual, you know, military thing out of war storage. You know, so there's your kind of tartan lining. I put a couple of pockets over there just for bits and pieces. My intention is to sleep with my head kind of down that end, so being able to see the stars and the sky out the old window when you roll over. I think that will be pretty peachy. Still got the solar light to come, so I'll have to take the headlining out. Got to paint that little panel at the end there. Got to get some couple of coats of maybe gloss paint on that, just to give it a little bit of waterproofing if any drips of rain do run in. But that's the first fix. That's just getting it out, putting it on and seeing what it looks like. The hydraulic rams aren't strong enough for the weight of the fabric and the weight of the roof, but obviously it's an assist to get it up. Now I'll have to manufacture the fiberglass poles that are going to hold the front out, and I've decided against the zip. You know, I think what I want is, you know, if a zip breaks in the middle of nowhere, you're kind of in the poo. So what I'm after really, I think, is a really simple system. And what I've got going on is maybe toggles, you know, sort of thing you'd have on a duffel coat or something like that. So we'll see. I'm sure that will come to fruition. But what it will do is it will fasten, you know, just on the inside here. So obviously I think the most important thing is it's easy to fasten and unfasten from the inside. But that's the first fix. Really pleased with it. And moving on. Okay, so I fixed the fabric. It's got a couple of old fiberglass poles that kind of give it its shape. What I've done is I had this old sort of sunshade thing that we had for the beach for the kids, and it died a death some years ago, and I sort of chopped it up thinking the parts might come in handy. Well, the fiberglass poles that came with it are what I've made the fiberglass poles for this rooftop tent with. So no massive expense, you know, just bits that were lying around and have eventually got into coming in handy. Let me show you how it's going to fix and sort of tighten down a bit. So this is the side. My kind of idea is to put a brass eyelet in here somewhere with a going to be like a little bit of shock cord that's going to pull it down to here, so that will kind of pull that tight, and there'll be 3 of those down each side. You know, and that should keep it a little bit tighter. So a brass kind of eyelet with a little kind of shock bungee cord that's going to fix around here, and that's just going to pull it down nice and tight. Quite happy with the way the sort of extra space is worked out with that loop on the side. That gives me the sort of the appearance, I suppose, of an extra sort of 20 inches in length. But the next thing that I've got to work out really is just the door. You know, how I think it may end up needing another pole that kind of pushes these two apart, so that when you close it up, it actually sort of keeps its round shape, as opposed to at the moment these two sides kind of pull in. You know, so it's going to need something to hold these sides out. Not sure about that at the moment, but the kind of design is evolving, and we are getting closer to a kind of finished product that we can take out and take up to the Chilterns and hopefully kind of weather test. But that's what it's looking like, people. Take the poles out and it should all store in the lid. Should be pretty quick, and that's what I hoped for. I think this is probably going to be a 3-parter, so I'm going to leave you here. All I've done to fix the fabric to the tent really is I've used a piece of right angle PVC, glued it and just riveted it in place. In truth, that's going to get modified slightly, probably a you know, a nice tidy 45-degree mitre up there, and then I'll sort of tape it and paint it the same colour as the trailer. But I think we're kind of getting there really. Quite a few people were worried about me getting wet, you know. They've sort of said, oh, you know, as the water runs down here, if you've got the sunroof open of an evening, you know, the water's going to run straight in, and you would be right. I've got a cunning plan that I'll show you just as soon as I pick another bit of material up, and I'm going to overcome that problem, so I'm not particularly worried about that. Down here I've got a little gap, and that's going to have a fabric gaiter that goes over it, sort of from here over the hinge, and will fix to the body of the trailer. But that's it really. So quite a productive day, got quite a lot done, I think, and that is what my rooftop trailer tent is going to look like. I think it's going to be pretty funky. I'm really thinking about a proper sort of gas grill sink sort of work surface unit that clips on the side or on the front, and that may be the next thing if I can pick something up cheap enough. Hope you're still interested anyway, and that was another day's work on the trailer. I'm hoping to get it finished probably over the next two or 3 days, I suppose. It's just a matter of kind of working it out in your head, and then laying your hands on the parts and bits and pieces at the right money. But this is part 2. I think we've taken a big step forward. As always, any comments? Love to hear them. Back soon.